It was a quiet night in Washington, D.C. The stars were bright, and the world below was calm. But inside a small control room at NASA, a storm was beginning. Dr. Emily Carter stared at her screen. She was the head of NASA's Deep Space Communications team, a woman known for her calm mind and sharp instincts. But tonight, her hands were shaking. Something strange was coming through the radio waves, a pattern that didn't belong to nature. "Run it again," she whispered. Her assistant, Tom, looked nervous. "Dr. Carter, it's the same message every time. Repeating every 30 seconds. The room was silent except for the soft beeping sound from the computers. The pattern played again, 3 short tones, one long, then a pause. After that, a voice. A distorted voice that said, "We see your lights." Everyone froze. Emily's heart raced. "Record it? All of it?" Within an hour, the message spread through every level of NASA. By morning, the Pentagon had called. By afternoon, the president himself was watching the playback. Some believed it was a trick, a reflection, maybe a satellite echo. But Emily knew. The rhythm, the tone, the delay, it was intelligent. Someone, or something, was talking to Earth. For the next 2 weeks, the message kept coming. Every time the same line, the same voice. Scientists around the world tried to decode it, but no one could find any clue who sent it. The only clear thing was its direction. It came from 20 light-years away, from a dark patch of space near the Vega system. Then, without warning, the message stopped. Emily felt a cold emptiness in her chest. "Why would they stop now?" she asked quietly. Tom looked at her. Maybe they got what they wanted. That same night, an emergency order was sent from the White House. Only 12 people saw it. It was signed by the president himself and marked "Eyes Only." The message was short. "Activate Project Silent Dawn." Emily didn't know what that was. She wasn't supposed to. But a few hours later, a black helicopter landed near NASA headquarters. 2 men in dark suits approached her. "Dr. Carter," one said, showing her a badge with no name, "you're coming with us." They took her to a base in Nevada, far beyond the desert roads and empty skies. Inside a secret hangar, she saw something she never thought possible: hundreds of massive ships, hidden beneath layers of steel and shadow. Each ship carried a symbol of an eagle and a sun, but their design was nothing like Earth's modern technology. Sleek, silent, and dark, they looked almost alive. A man in a gray uniform stepped forward. "Dr. Carter, I'm Commander Jack Reynolds. Welcome to the Silent Fleet." Emily stared, speechless. "What is this?" He smiled faintly. "Insurance. Built in secret after the Roswell incident, finished 30 years ago. No one was ever supposed to wake them." "Why now?" she asked. Jack looked at her, serious and calm. "Because the message you heard isn't a greeting. It's a warning." Emily's eyes widened. "A warning from who?" He didn't answer. Instead, he pointed to a large screen on the wall. A radar feed showed something strange: several unidentified objects moving near the moon's orbit. "They appeared the moment your signal stopped," Jack said. "And they're not ours." The hangar lights dimmed as red alerts flashed across the room. Technicians ran between terminals. Engines that had slept for decades began to hum again. Above the dark side of the moon, massive shadows started to move. One by one, the ships powered on glowing blue lights tracing along their hulls like veins waking from a long sleep. The silence of space was broken by the sound of energy rising. Emily could feel the floor tremble. "How many ships are there?" she asked. 87, Jack said. "Hidden here since before most of us were born. The last hope if we were ever found." "Found by who?" Jack's face hardened. "By whoever sent that message." In orbit, the flagship USS Horizon came online. Its ancient AI core lit up with golden symbols. It had been silent for nearly 50 years. System reboot complete, a robotic voice said. Awaiting command authorization. Jack placed his hand on a scanner. Commander Jack Reynolds, authorization code Black Horizon. The ship's systems came alive. Screens flickered, and external sensors reached far into space. And then, deep in the darkness, something blinked back, a reflection, a light that wasn't a star. Emily leaned closer. What is that? Jack whispered, someone's watching us. The radar confirmed it. A single object, roughly the size of a battleship, orbiting the moon, completely still, completely silent. Then it moved. In the command room, alarms went off. A beam of energy swept across the fleet, scanning them. Lock down power levels, Jack ordered. Don't respond. Emily's voice shook. They know we're here. On the screen, the alien ship rotated slowly, like it was staring directly at them. And for the first time, Earth's hidden fleet faced the unknown. The horizon of the moon glowed softly under the sunlight as both forces, one human, one alien, watched each other in complete silence. And somewhere deep in the ship's core, the AI spoke again. Message received, it said. Preparing reply. Jack and Emily turned toward the console in shock. What reply? She asked. The AI's voice was calm. They said, we see your lights. The console screen flickered and sent a new signal into the void. We see yours too. The hidden fleet had awakened. 87 silent giants floated behind the moon, their metal skin glowing faint blue under the sun's edge. Humanity's greatest secret was no longer sleeping. Commander Jack Reynolds stood inside the bridge of the USS Horizon, the largest ship of them all. The air inside felt old, heavy, and cold. Every light that came alive seemed to breathe after years of darkness. Engine stable, said Lieutenant Harper. All systems running at 70%. Jack nodded. Good. Keep the reactors quiet. We don't want to announce ourselves. Across the main screen, the alien object was still there, one black ship, motionless, yet alive with strange green lights crawling along its hull. It wasn't attacking. Not yet. It was watching. Dr. Emily Carter stood beside Jack, still wearing her white NASA jacket. It's studying us, she said. Just like we're studying it. Jack kept his eyes on the screen. Maybe. Or maybe it's waiting for orders. Emily crossed her arms. Orders, from who? Jack didn't answer. His instincts told him this was only the beginning. The Horizon's crew had been called in secretly from bases around the world, men and women trained for something they were told would never happen. Most of them had never seen combat. Now they stood in front of something humanity couldn't even name. Commander, Harper said, that thing is scanning the moon again. On the radar, thin green lines swept across the surface, touching craters and metal shadows where smaller human ships hid. Jack frowned. It's mapping us. Get me a visual zoom. The camera focused on the alien ship. Its body looked like living stone, moving slightly, reshaping as if it were breathing. Symbols glowed faintly across its skin, the same patterns Emily had seen in the first message. Her heart skipped a beat. Those markings, they're identical to the transmission signal. Jack turned sharply. What do you mean? She showed him her tablet. These patterns match the sound waves of the message like a code. That ship didn't send a signal. It responded to it. Before Jack could reply, an alarm blared through the bridge. Multiple contacts, shouted Harper. New signatures incoming, 12 ships, same class, approaching fast. Jack's blood turned cold. They're not alone anymore. On the main display, the alien ships appeared like dark knives sliding out of shadow. They formed a perfect formation around the first vessel, circling the moon like predators closing in. Raise shields, Jack ordered. Harper hesitated. Sir, these systems are old. We don't even know if. Do it? Blue light spread over the horizon's hull, a shimmering energy field awakening from deep within. The same thing happened across the fleet. Silent metal giants now glowed like ancient spirits. Emily stared in awe. That technology, it's not human. Jack said quietly, no. But it's ours now. The alien ships began to move closer. They didn't fire weapons. Instead, they released hundreds of small drones like silver insects that scattered toward the human fleet. They're scanning again, Harper said. And wait, something else. One of the smaller ships is powering up a weapon. Jack clenched his fists. All units, defensive positions. No one fires unless I say so. The first beam of energy came without warning, a long green ray that struck the horizon straight in the chest. The sound shook every metal wall. But the blue shield held firm. Emily gasped. It bounced off. The beam scattered into fragments of light, spreading harmlessly into space. The alien ship stopped firing, as if confused. Jack smiled faintly. Looks like they didn't expect that. But the relief didn't last long. The other ships began charging their weapons too, and this time, all of them fired at once. For a few seconds, the horizon vanished inside a storm of light. The entire sky above the moon turned green and white. Emily covered her face, certain they were done. Then the light faded. And the horizon still stood. Its shields flickered, but it remained untouched. The bridge filled with stunned silence. They can't break through, Harper whispered. Jack took a deep breath. Then it's our turn. He turned to Emily. How much do you know about these ships? Not much, she said. Just that they were found, not built. Jack nodded. Then maybe they remember what they were made for. He pressed his command key. Fleet, prepare counter-strike non-lethal. Show them we're not easy prey. The horizon's main cannons glowed blue, then released short bursts of energy, bright, precise, and loud. The shots didn't hit the aliens directly. They passed near them, close enough to make their shields flare. It was a warning shot. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the alien ships stopped firing. Cease fire, Jack said. The screens showed the enemy fleet floating silently, like beasts that had lost interest. Emily exhaled. Maybe they understand. But the calm didn't last. On the radar, a signal blinked, faint, rhythmic, coming from deep inside the alien flagship. Emily looked at the pattern. Her face turned pale. That's the same as before, the same as the voice. Jack frowned. Play it. The sound came through the speakers, the same distorted voice as before, only now the words were different. You are not supposed to wake them. A chill ran through the bridge. Wake who? Harper asked quietly. Emily whispered, they mean the ships. Before anyone could react, the alien fleet began to pull back fast, retreating toward the dark side of space. But one small drone stayed behind, orbiting the horizon. It projected a beam of light into the command deck, forming a floating symbol in midair. The same glowing mark found on the ship's ancient hull. The AI spoke for the first time since activation. Unknown protocol recognized. Translation in progress. Jack and Emily watched as the symbol turned into simple English words. It said, "They are coming." Jack stared into the darkness of space. Who's coming? The AI answered quietly, the ones who built me. The bridge fell silent. Outside, the stars looked suddenly colder. Humanity had survived its first alien encounter, but now, something far older had heard the noise. And it was on its way. The alien ships had vanished into the darkness, leaving behind only silence and questions. On the bridge of the USS Horizon, every face was pale, every mind spinning. The message was still echoing in their heads. They are coming. Commander Jack Reynolds stood with his hands clasped behind his back, staring at the screen filled with stars. "They left without a fight," he said quietly. "That means they were afraid of something." Dr. Emily Carter looked at him. "Or warning us." The ship's AI, its voice calm and cold, broke the silence. "Signal residue detected beneath lunar surface. Source, human construction. Estimated age 100,000 years." Jack turned sharply. "That's impossible." Emily frowned. "Humans didn't even exist that long ago." The AI replied, "Correction, humans did exist. Technology level unknown. Coordinates uploaded." Jack's heart pounded. "Helm, set course for those coordinates." The horizon moved slowly over the moon's gray surface, drifting toward a massive crater hidden from Earth's view. Beneath the dust and rock, something weighted metal, ancient and sleeping. As the ship descended, lights from the hull illuminated the crater's edge. And then they saw it. A giant structure buried deep into the moon like a temple made of black stone and metal. Strange symbols covered its surface, glowing faint blue when touched by the ship's light. Emily whispered, "It's not alien, but it's not modern human either." Jack said softly, "Open the lower bay." "I'm going down there." Minutes later, a small shuttle detached from the horizon and descended into the crater. Jack and Emily sat inside, wearing pressure suits. Neither spoke. The silence between them was heavy, filled with fear and wonder. When they landed, their boots touched ancient dust that hadn't been disturbed for ages. The air was still, almost sacred. The structure rose above them smooth, enormous, with lines that pulsed faintly under their touch. Emily placed her hand on one wall. It was warm. "Commander," she said, "this place is alive." Jack looked around. "Find a way in." Emily traced her fingers along the symbols until one of them glowed brighter. The ground trembled. A hidden door opened with a slow, deep sound, revealing a dark tunnel leading inside. They entered, lights shining from their suits. The walls were covered in carving scenes of war between ships that looked both human and alien. Great battles in space, planets burning, and figures with human faces wearing armor that glowed like stars. Emily's voice was a whisper. This is history. Our history." Jack stopped in front of a huge circular chamber. In the center stood a massive sphere of black glass, floating above a platform. Inside it, something faintly shimmered, lights moving like thoughts. "Looks like a core," Jack said. "Maybe an old reactor." The AI's voice came through their comms. "Confirmed. This structure predates all known human civilizations. Power source active but dormant. Permission to interface." Jack hesitated, then nodded. "Do it." A beam of light shot from the horizon in orbit, connecting with the core. The black glass began to glow brighter, symbols racing across its surface. Suddenly, the lights in the chamber flared, and a deep voice filled the room. "You woke the fleet." Emily froze. "Who said that?" "We built them to sleep until the war returned," the voice continued. "If you hear this message, then the enemy is near once more." Jack looked up. "Who are you?" The voice replied, "We are your ancestors, the first humans. We left this world to fight in the stars. Some of us never came back." Emily's hands trembled. "This can't be real." But the images began to form around them, holograms showing ancient humans standing beside ships like the horizon. Their weapons shone with energy, their eyes fierce and determined. "The Kareth Dominion will return," the voice said. "And when they do, Earth must be ready. The fleet carries our legacy and our curse." Jack stepped closer to the core. "What curse?" The voice faded, replaced by static. Then the AI on the horizon interrupted. "Commander, incoming signal from deep space. Multiple contacts, hundreds. They match the same alien pattern as before." Jack's blood ran cold. They're back. Emily whispered, "No, this isn't them. These signals are bigger." The AI confirmed, "Correct. These are not K-Wraith ships. They are older. Faster. Stronger." Jack stared at the glowing core. "They said the builders never came back. What if they just took longer?" Emily looked horrified. "You think our ancestors are returning?" Jack turned toward her. "Or whatever became of them." The ground beneath them started to shake. The ancient structure began to rumble as if something deep below was waking up. Dust fell from the ceiling. The sphere's glow turned from blue to red. The voice returned louder now, urgent. "If they return, the fleet must stand protect Earth. Protect home." Jack shouted over the noise. "We have to go. Now." They ran back toward the shuttle as the walls cracked open, releasing bursts of light. The core was overloading, sending energy waves up through the moon's crust. As the shuttle lifted off, the entire crater exploded with blue fire. From orbit, the Horizon's crew watched in disbelief as the surface of the moon split open, revealing metallic structures beneath huge towers and tunnels that stretched for miles. Emily's voice came through the comms, shaking. "The moon, it's not just a rock. It's a fortress." The AI responded. "Confirmed. Lunar fortress systems activating. Defense grid online." Jack landed the shuttle back on the horizon and looked at Emily. "Someone buried an entire fleet inside the moon. And now it's waking up." Outside the window, thousands of glowing lines began to appear across the lunar surface like veins of light spreading under the dust. Then the radar lit up again. "Commander," Harper said, voice trembling, "we have incoming ships. The K-Wraith are back." "Dozens, no, hundreds." Jack clenched his fists. "And this time, we're ready." Emily looked at the glowing moon and whispered, "Let's hope our ancestors built it for this moment." The stars outside flickered as the alien armada appeared on the edge of space and the sleeping fortress of the moon finally opened its eyes. Space had never looked so alive. The dark side of the moon glowed with rivers of blue light, pulsing like a heartbeat. Hidden towers rose from beneath the dust, revealing massive cannons, energy grids, and hangar doors larger than cities. The ancient fortress had awakened. Commander Jack Reynolds stood on the bridge of the USS Horizon, staring at the impossible sight. "My God," he whispered. "It's not a moon anymore. It's a weapon." Dr. Emily Carter was beside him, her face pale. "It's not just human technology. It's something beyond us. But it's listening to us." The ship's AI spoke calmly. "Lunar defense systems online. Awaiting command." Before Jack could answer, alarms exploded across the bridge. "Commander," shouted Lieutenant Harper. "Enemy fleet inbound, 112 K-Wraith warships. They're heading straight for us." Jack's voice went cold. "All units, battle formation. Wake every ship in the fleet. It's time." Outside, the hidden fleet began to move. 87 ships rose from the lunar shadow, spreading out like a wall of steel and fire. Their engines burned bright blue, reflecting across the surface of the awakening moon. The K-Wraith ships appeared moments later, massive dark vessels with green energy cores glowing like poison. Their comms opened, broadcasting a single message in a deep, harsh voice. Humans were not meant to have the old weapons. Return them, or be erased. Jack smiled grimly. Tell them, no. The AI transmitted the reply, one simple line. Earth stands. And then the battle began. The first wave of K-Wraith ships fired hundreds of plasma beams slicing through space. The Horizon's shields flashed but held firm. Emily watched in awe as the lunar fortress activated. Dozens of enormous cannons fired beams of pure blue light, cutting through the enemy lines like lightning. Explosions filled the darkness. One by one, K-Wraith ships fell apart, their hulls melting under the ancient energy of the moon. They weren't ready for this, Harper said, disbelief in his voice. Jack's tone was steady. No one ever is when Earth fights back. But the victory was short-lived. Sensors detected a larger vessel approaching 5 times the size of the others. It appeared out of hyperspace like a black sun. Its body glowed red, and strange symbols crawled across its hull. Emily gasped. That's not just a ship, it's a command carrier. The AI confirmed. K'Reath flagship detected. Power output exceeds our entire fleet combined. The enemy ship fired. A massive red beam slammed into the moon's surface, shaking every ship in orbit. Craters erupted in bursts of molten rock. The fortress shields are dropping. Harper shouted. Redirect Horizon's power. Jack ordered. Feed energy to the fortress grid. The Horizon glowed brighter, transferring power directly to the moon's defense systems. The blue energy lines flared again, pushing back the red beam. Emily held onto her console. We can't hold forever. Jack's eyes hardened. Then we don't hold. We strike. He turned to the comms officer. Get me all ships. We're going for the flagship. Across the fleet, captains listened to his voice. This is Commander Reynolds. Humanity was silent for too long. Now we speak with fire. Form up on the horizon. Let's remind the galaxy what Earth can do. The ships moved together, forming a spearhead formation aimed directly at the K'Reath flagship. Engines roared, energy weapons charged. The alien carrier unleashed thousands of drones, but the human ships tore through them like thunder. Missiles, energy beams, and railguns lit the void. Every explosion painted the stars in blue and red. Inside the horizon, Emily watched the sensors flash red. Their armor is regenerating. We can't break it. Jack clenched his fists. Then we need more than weapons. The AI spoke suddenly. Commander, the lunar fortress is opening something beneath its surface. A section of the moon cracked apart, revealing a massive circular gate glowing with golden light. Inside it, a dark object began to rise, larger than any ship in the fleet. Emily whispered, "Is that another ship?" The AI responded, "Negative. Classification unknown. It's a city-sized engine core." Jack realized what it was. The heart of the ancient fleet. The gate exploded in brilliance as the structure powered up. The voice of the ancient builders echoed again through every speaker. To those who protect Earth, the Dawn engine is yours. The AI translated quickly. It's a power core. Designed to merge with our flagship. Jack didn't hesitate. Bring us closer. The horizon moved into the golden light. The entire ship shook as streams of energy connected to its hull. The old human symbols along the walls began to glow, syncing with the moon's pulse. Energy levels spiking. Harper yelled. We're overloading. Emily's eyes widened. No, we're evolving. Outside, the horizon transformed. Its armor reshaped itself, its engines burned brighter, and a massive new cannon unfolded from its spine. The K'Reath flagship charged another beam, but this time, the horizon fired first. A burst of white-blue light crossed the void, silent and pure. When it hit the alien ship, everything stopped for one breathless second. Then, the entire enemy vessel shattered into glowing dust. Silence filled space. The remaining K'Reath ships broke formation and fled into hyperspace. The battle was over. On the bridge, the crew stared at the screen in shock. Emily whispered, "We did it." Jack stood still, his voice quiet. "No. They did it, the ones who came before us." The AI spoke once more. Dawn engine integrated successfully. Human fleet status, operational. Lunar fortress, stable. But... Emily turned. But what? The AI paused. Another signal detected. Deep space origin. Pattern matches, human. Jack frowned. Human? From where? The AI replied, unknown sector. Transmission reads, we are coming home. Everyone froze. Emily whispered, the returners. Jack looked out the window, where the stars still glowed faintly from battle. Maybe our ancestors never died. Maybe they were out there, still fighting. The moon's light reflected on his face as he spoke softly. If they're coming home, they'll find Earth ready this time. Outside, the hidden fleet drifted in silence, humanity's forgotten guardians, reborn under the ancient light.